we'll see what deGrom features against him as the veteran right-hander goes to work, and we're underway. And he does turn it loose. And Nootbaar for St. Louis. Cardinals took 2 out of 3 in Baltimore. They've split the first 2 here with the Rangers and have an off day tomorrow. 8 in this series in Texas. And 97 just missed the inside corner.
Look easy. It doesn't look like he's max effort throwing a ball.
Missed again, ball 3. Wear down the starters. We'll see what he's done to get the game started. More leadoff walks to start a game than anybody else. And he's got another one here. deGrom passes in. So 1 on for Masyn Winn. Let's take a look at our keys to the game. That's presented, Mike, by Nissan. Let's see how creatively the Cardinals operate on the base pass. Nootbaar's got a good lead. And Masyn Winn takes outside. Another miss glove side for deGrom. But he's come back, and the Cardinals have been blazing hot since. Another miss by deGrom. Ball 2. Masyn Winn. That's more like it. Nice and easy. Winn had a good rip at that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a full count. He is. And it's on the ground toward third. Young, a nice pick. And his throw to first in time. St. Louis stays out of the double play and sets it up for Brendan Donovan. Laura's pre-pitch guest. Donovan, 24 RBIs for Donovan. And this one popped up a mile high at third. Young in foul ground is going to catch that. And St. Louis 1 for 16 in this series with runners in scoring position. A rare first pitch pop out for the St. Louis second baseman. 2 outs, top of the first. And a shot to right field, down for a base hit. Nootbaar around third. He is going to score standing up. Contreras with a base hit puts St. Louis in front, and the Cardinals cash in a leadoff walk.
Cardinals baseball. They draw a walk, they get him over to second base, and a nice slider there breaks the bat. But Contreras is able to float it into right field and get the Cardinals on the board.
Drives you nuts as a pitcher, doesn't it? You make a good pitch and you're still hurt.
There's so much about this game that's mental that you have to say, hey, I executed the pitch. I'm not going to just let the result affect me.
Cardinals DH. 5 homers, 26 driven in for him. And that's in for a strike. Series behind the plate. Adrian Johnson worked the dish yesterday, and it's tough for the umpire.
Is open.
Runner goes, and a shot into right center field. Hit and run for St. Louis. They're breaking everything out. First and third for the Cardinals with 2 outs. Herrera's 3rd hit on the road trip for St. Louis. Hit and run maybe gets him back on the beam. Arenado at 233 on the year. This one bounced slowly towards short. And the flip to first is in time. The Cardinals got after deGrom early in the count with 2 outs, and they score a first
team, and that can win for a while together.
Alec Burleson leads off for St. Louis and lines out to first. Smith, right place, right time. 1 pitch, 1 out. We're seeing a different plan of attack other than Lars Nootbaar by the St. Louis hitters against deGrom. Don't get to 2 strikes against this guy as Pedro Pajes is next. And that's in for a strike. In our chat with Oliver Marmol, the Cardinals St. Louis is giving its young players this year.
Yeah, they have guys that are learning the game at the big league level, but also
one enjoys an early leadoff Jacob deGrom. And with 2 strikes, Pajes sprays that one out of play. Everybody to be involved. And there it is, disappearing slider. And Pajes is the first strikeout victim. And 2 men are out. That's remarkable to me. As many starts as deGrom has made, 230 of them now. Only once has he not struck out a batter.
And now sent there, and after they commit, they go, oh no, it's not going to be a strike anymore.
Victor Scott the second hits one in the air to second. Marcus Semien should have no trouble. And deGrom with an 8-pitch inning restores some Texas order. Rangers left 2 in the first. They'll try to get it even in the second. It's 1-0 St. Louis. So now Jacob deGrom has a 2-1 lead. He faces the Cardinals lineup for the second time.
With it. So we'll see if deGrom, the second time through the lineup, wants to throw the ball more inside, especially I'll say
the first time up. And gets an inside corner there. There's your point.
Yeah, I love watching the game.
Good rip, but fouled straight back. The Rangers did get a scare.
The one finger or two finger that he might be dealing with a little bit of a hot spot.
That's grounded through the right side. A base hit for Nootbaar, a two-strike hit. So St. Louis with 3 singles in the game. Here, Nootbaar takes off. Himes' throw to second is going to be on the money. What a throw. If this call stands, Nootbaar will be gunned out for the 3rd time and no challenge for St. Louis.
Watch how far Simeon lets the ball carry. So it's just a catch and then the tag's there. He doesn't catch the ball out in front and then reach for him. He lets the ball travel. This is a great throw from Jonah to the first base side. And then the throw gets the tag on in time.
Mason Wynn. And a shot to right field. Wynn has an opposite field single. So one of the themes for the Cardinals, Mike, has been there's a time to slug, there's a time to hit. And Ollie Marmol talked with us about that approach. 1st and 3rd. Now Donovan's up. He popped out with Nootbaar.
Much his work ethic, you notice it when you watch him before games.
This one shot towards second. And Seager will turn the double play. Jacob deGrom gives up a couple of hits, but not the lead. Texas looking good, up 2-1.
What did you like about the way your offense responded there in the second?
Yeah, especially after the first inning. I mean, we had a great chance there, 2nd and 3rd, and they pitched out of it. But, you know, anytime you get a 2-out.
Cardinals have swung at the first pitch 6 times. To your point, don't get to 2 strikes with deGrom, but if you don't hit him.
If the first guy swings first pitch and makes an out, most likely the second guy's going to have to take a strike.
I love watching this pick in Texas, but that was the story for him with all those great years with the Mets.
1 run support and then 2 health. I mean, you'd look at him right now, you look at his overall stats for his more health throughout the kind of back half of his career. And he's one of the best in the game when he takes the mound. Right there, 2-1, getting that swing.
League baseball, Jacob deGrom's the fastest pitcher to 1,700 strikeouts. Think about that and all the fireballers that our game has seen. And again, and that could bode very well for Texas the rest of this season and beyond. I can promise you this, nobody wants to face him in the playoffs should the Rangers make it, but he's frustrated as he issues a 1-out walk, his 2nd walk of the game.
If the Rangers, there's plenty of season left. If the Rangers
out to short his first time up, so the Cardinals' 3rd baseman.
Every game, even if you're not scoring.
But you know of all people,
13 guys over there.
Good take by Arenado, and counts in the game.
One thing about deGrom I talked about earlier with Fetty.
Just filthy. That's the pitch that separates the men from the boys, right?
Yeah, and
20 years ago, it's an automatic fastball count.
88 movement, and then hits perfectly the bottom of the zone.
2-1 Rangers. Swing popped up. Langford in center will drift over, and plenty of room to make that play. Herrera back to first, and 2 are out in the St. Louis 4th pitch.
He has to hang it, and when you're looking at 2nd most in the AL with the strikeouts, the location of it is almost the same. One of them obviously through what we call a cement mixer, but he still got a strikeout on that one as it's spinning, but it ain't moving. But most of his have nasty late movement.
Burleson lined out to first, and he takes strike. This is a kid that's got really good bat to ball. In fact, he pitched in this series.
He was upset about the 11 runs that
Herrera at first. 2 outs, and a good pitch over the outside edge. That's Rick foul and out of play. We'll try again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one a little too far outside. Miss the old days when you'd see the catcher signs. So your guess is as good as ours as to what deGrom will throw. Runner goes. It's outside. That's ball 4. 2 walks in the inning, 3 in the game. And the Cardinals have the tying run in scoring position as they begin to grind against deGrom in the 4th inning. Position. And deGrom gets ahead of him. What the Rangers are going through offensively with runners in scoring position is something the Cardinals. Good pass at that pitch, but fouled back to the net.
deGrom.
1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. deGrom with a big strikeout, his second. He preserves a 2-1 Texas lead in Game 3.
Cards first year to start with is 1986.
Really?
And got right back into it. And my wife would say, I'm really good at buying of a 1933 Gaudy Lou Gehrig. That's one of the cards that I really want. And I don't care if it's a, what you consider graded, like a very low grade, could just be one of my favorite cards.
Jacob deGrom versus Victor Scott, who hits that one in the air toward left. And Osuna drifts back, and there is your first out. So you're an avid card collector.
Rangers and then the Twins.
I love the uniform in the middle across the street from this one, but the first one, the old minor league park, was about
Arlington
8
Stadium.
million degrees at game.
Stood at 140 degrees. So just all the metal bleachers and just pushing that sun onto the field.
Yeah, you're in an easy bake oven and you don't even know it. As Nootbaar's next for St. Louis, Jacob deGrom leads 2-1. He gave up a first inning run, a leadoff walk to this yet.
Isn't it interesting? He's not having a great game by deGrom's standards and strikeouts and throwing strikes, but yet here we are in the 5th inning and he's given up 1 run.
You noticed he's changed his glove too.
This is the first time I've seen Jacob deGrom use a glove where there's no back. You can't see his palm, you can't see his fingers at all. And I know that Jack Leiter uses that glove, and it's a new glove being worn by a lot of pitchers in baseball. So here's just the heater. We talk about up. That one gets to letter high, close to shoulder high. Funky to me, with no way to get a finger out of the glove. But from what I understand, there's so many people with so many cameras. I used to pitch with a 12 1/4 glove. A lot of guys now are going to more outfielder standard gloves, like 12 3/4, and then no back on there. So
at second base, took his lead. This one popped into shallow right center, and that one's going to be grabbed by Langford. Haggerty was sliding behind, and they avoid a collision. And Mason Wynn, in disbelief, is retired. deGrom has a 1-2-3 5th inning. The Rangers defense riding high in Game 3. With you from Arlington, Texas, where Jacob deGrom, the 3-4-5 batters coming up for the Cardinals. deGrom's had Donovan's number. He got him to pop up his first. Donovan rips that out of play. Foul. He's making a bid to be an all-star. And man, can he hit. Fought off 97 as you
see him really take off as a player. I think those are the most fun players to follow.
That's what Laurel was talking to Oliver Marmol about with Brendan Donovan before the game. As deGrom, now a big pitch, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Donovan on the ground, got jammed, and Simeon to a knee, retires him for out number 1.
2025. And he took a deep breath, took a second to gather himself, and then threw 3 quality pitches in a row to get the first out of the inning.
Well, to stay in the game and responded with a good day yesterday. Smoke towards center. Langford is there. One of the hardest hit balls of the game, but an atom ball to center. And deGrom has his second out.
It's better to be lucky than good, and Jacob deGrom, a little bit lucky right there on a ball hit hard. If that one's in the gap, he knows he's backing up third base.
Reached twice, a single and a walk. And that's in for a strike.
Herrera has an interesting stance. Is he all?
It works for him. Works very well for him. Came in at .333 on the season. And most could do so in an absolute emergency. deGrom takes care of Herrera with a swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts in the last 2 innings for Jacob. He controls the game with a 2-1 lead.
Rangers lead 2-1. We head to the 7th inning, and we look back at Jacob deGrom earlier in the game. It's kind of messing with his fingers there, and maybe that was what they came out to look at early in the game. And as his day was over, as he's going back to the clubhouse, he's kind of looking at his fingers, and maybe that was the issue early in the game. But if he had